Our Electric Motor Division Service Department, Section 11, the transition control system testing and setting of the purpose of the description, the purpose of the publication, describe the procedure testing, setting of the transition control system, the UV, the SD45, and the Locomotive, the terminated transition of the UV, the hearing with the motor field, the turning with the you should understand the main chain of the value of the motor shield, checking the resistance as well as the chain of the motor connection across the main generator value, the valve's calibration, the circuit tank given in the section locomotive, serve the manual, but are provided with the charts and graph, the drawing of the number of the reference lower right corner of the locomotive with the wire diagram of the performance, meaning transition control system testing, setting the necessary of the the charts and graph, the drawing of the conjunction procedure given in the publication, serve the tab that are included within the instruction, the page of the provide with the following. Reference of the drawing of other publications relating to the equipment procedure covered in the instructional list with the routine manual for the equipment, the recommended with the use of the procedure given in the instruction specification covered in the compartments and circulars for supplemental information, revised testing and setting of the procedure, contents, the procedure covered in this instruction are follow transition sequence checking, even the testing panel, 2 transition relay circuit calibration, 3 transition sequence checking out of the MG main generator, I guess, set, and the detailed description of the transition circuit given in the section D and the 70D45 locomotive service panel. Maintenance and preliminary setting. If the calibrated resistors have been replaced with a new component with the setting with the were accidentally distributed with the following with the preliminary setting of the resistor 16B with replace the upper side with the midway of the resistor the side calibrates the BTR dropout with during the parallel of the full load field operation power of the loader slider and 1 inch up with the lower end of the side of the slider calibrates the VT tree. BTR dropout during the parallel field shining operation. The RE resistor 16C with the slider 1/3 way with the drop of the top of the resistor slider that calibrates the BTR dropout during the series parallel field shot operation. And it shows another one. RE17B resistor of the plate with the 1/4 of the way with the up at the bottom of the resistor slide calibrates for the full forward FTR pickup during the parallel operation. The RE17C with the place the slider midway with the resistor with the slide with the calibrated the forward the FTR forward transition reactor relay pickup during the series parallel operation. Translation sequence check. The transition sequence check with the figure 11.1 with the contact of relay operation over the various transition position for the transition sequence may be checked again for the chart with the application of the voltage sequence test check through the publish button the switch is provided with the sequence. Sequencing with the test panel with the SD45 with the equip the basically transition test panel figure 11.2 with the panel with the container with the rotary snap switch for the select for the normal operation the main sequence test for the rotary switch in the position manual sequence test the push button for the forward and backward sequence are operative. Figure 11.2 show the transition sequence test button manual forward transition sequence test panel manual sequence test panel manual backward transmission. Sequence test setup. The sequence test may be performed with the engine running with the sound of the either case for the pull of the jumper cable to the ends of the unit under the test for the signal will be transition to the other unit to consider to perform the following both sequence before sequencing is circuit. If the sequence is to be checked with the perform the engine running move with the generator as the field fuses. Set the locomotive control and the few switches that follow. Main battery switch clove with the control lead control breakers in the on and up position with the control the fuel pump switch in the on and up position engine run switch on the on down position. The off and down position, generator field switch on the on and up position, isolation switch in the run position, place the reverser lever the in position for the forward reverser operation plate for the selection lever and with it equipped with the number 1 position with the power contact with the reverser switch gear with the rear pick up the throttle in the number 1 position, the forward transition push button at the top with the transition sequence with the step forward through the shining with the parallel motor connection with the final step with the motor field shining when the back transition push button is held with the transition sequence is set with the backward for the shining with the series parallel motor current with the full field condition. The sequence may stop at any given step of the release from the push button with the proper movement of the sequence. The proper operation from the SD45 transition circuit depending on the time of the contract of relay dropout. Do not attempt to modify the operation from the manual transition circuit during the check of the transition circuits are not operating with the properly check of the shunting of the contact of transition relay dropout timing should be made. But the return transition sequence test the panel rotary switch for the normal position after the completion of the transition relay with the circuit check of the calibration preliminary check with the transition relay front and FTR and BTR. The following checks the preliminary the transition relay circuit of the calibration, and they should be performed before transition relay checks are made. The BTR low voltage bias check with the voltage transition check with the full battery. The BTR probably means battery. The transition circuit of the full field connection with the millimeter series with the battery negative pole with this point done with the connection of the positive medium with the lead terminal of the forward FTRA with the connection from the negative meter A with the B with the FTRA. The when above the connection made with the diesel engine running to the main switch below with the B battery relay with the switch picks up the meter should resist from 30 to 130 milliamperes. The continuous concerning over the battery with the forward field turn something operating coils is given. Serve the data with the given back of the page. PA with the voltage must be nominal 74 volts with this check. Discounting the millimeter that has been on the only end of the check with that has no adjusting of the main. With the FTR voltage. The FRT low voltage bias check with the millimeter with the zero with the FTR with the PN coil and positive and negative coil with the maybe done with the connection of the positive meter lead with the field 1 over the parallel relay by connecting the negative meter with the field 2 terminal parallel relay. Above the connection made with the diesel engine running with the main battery switch clove with the millimeter with the man meridian should be indicated with the FTR with the dropout series with the parallel intersection with the 1 with the chart and the graphic drawing with the current flow for the positive and negative with the FTR coil is knocked down the effective relay with the not pick up. Disconnect the millimeter has been only on the check. There is no adjustment made with the forward transition relay with the forward transition relay calibration testing of the figure 11.3 with the stop the diesel engine with the move the generator shield bump panel bus for the brake. It's adjacent to the bus connecting 4,000 amperes with a 50 millivolt meter shunt circuit with the main generator to shut the connection with the millivolt meter able to indicate the 4,000 amperes. Insert the telephone plugs on the rods with the sequence test jack located above. The switch of the fuse panel connected with the MG with the setup with the leads with the 0 to 1200 volts DC with the voltmeter. The test jacks do not connect the MG. The setting of it in lead with the end time. Forward transition BTR battery calibration general test setup. So you have the removal of the shunt panel with the amp applying 40,000 amps with the motor MV shorter millivolt meter. The BTR and forward transition relay, back transition relay, generator, BTR and back transition, main battery switch, main generator set, 0 to 12 volt DC, test jacks, disconnect the entire procedure of the TCM6 for the 2 indicated with the forward transition relay, pick up the non-side to indicate the back transition relay, A1 and A2 SS series shield circuit Y and series 1. We have your rheostat 100 ohm, 100 watt, TB68, 61 negative, also the terminal transition relay panel, FSA field shunting. Disconnect the backward transition relay with the forward FSA current area with the backward transition relay. Apply electrician jumper to the forward transition relay. PR check. Disconnect the EY with the number 1 with the comms terminal with the throttle response with the TRP relay with a connect with the manual operated with the 100 to 100 out with the test of the rheostat as well. Connect one end of the tab of the rheostat with the convenient with an NA wire terminal from the center of the tab of the rheostat with the NA terminal connect with the other end of the rheostat with the number 1 terminal with the board 68C with located behind the engine control panel, making the connections here with the help of the prevent the overheating during the test. Connect the center tab of the rheostat with the number 1 COM terminal to respond with the TRP relay. They disconnect the TCM6 with the wire with the UI terminal with the SS1 with disable the transition circuit with the preventing the pickup of the sequence of the relay. SS1 also prevents the current from the MP coil, the frontward transition and backward transition relay. On the locomotive late model with the SD45, they are equipped with the soft shunting with the disconnect, the 13T1 with the A with the forward transition relay with the keep the overspeed relay coil with the being energized with the front and forward transition relay. Pick up with the start of the diesel engine with the SD45. Hit the locomotive may be cranked and start with the engineer with the short circuit with the locomotive's end control switch for the operation under the power with the allow the generator field switch to remain off the down position. Connect with the MG with the inside with the input laid with the main battery switch the left hand side of the switch with the positive apply 1000 volts with the MG side with the minutes for the preheat the transition circuit with resistors after warming up to reduce the voltage to 0. Forward transition relay pickup to connect the 74 volt DC lamp with the loop for the TCM6 for the wire with the convenient with the negative terminal test lamp with coming on the forward transition relay pickup. Place the generator field switch within the on up position. Play for the throttle with the run if I position. Operate the 100 ohm with the 100 watt test. Rheostat on 2400 amperes per meter with the connect with the generator short circuiting shut. On some, the MG may be able to put with the high voltage required even with the diesel engine running in the service to reduce the generator amperage with the forward transition and they pick up the limitation of the MG set. Adjusting the rheostat 17C with the slide with the increase the MG setup with the volt with the forward transition relay, pick up the indicator to test with the voltage current value with the forward transition relay, pick up with the shortfall within the limits indicated with the line with the forward transition PU with the S series parallel on the chart to end with the graph of the drawing, making the necessary adjustments with the slider with the rheostat 17C with the reduce the MG set of the voltage 0 with the throttle in the idle position, making any adjustment. Reapply the generator current with the MG set with the voltage check with the adjustment with the reducing the MG set with the voltage 0. Operate the 100 watt the 100 watt test of the rheostat, reduce the generator current to the 1800 amps, and increase the MG voltage set the forward transition relay, pick up with the voltage valves forward transition, pick up with the valves within the limits indicated with the chart from the graph of the drawing with the pick up of the values out of the clearance, recheck with the pick up with the higher current with the repeat with the check with the lower the current. Forward transition relay, pick up the real value that not brought with the tolerance of the high or low current of the relay. The defect that should be replaced with the qualified return relay. Return the throttle and idle, reduce the MG set volt to connect with the electrician and jump with the terminal D1 D2 to terminal D2 with the parallel relay. With the simulate with the parallel relay, pick up the variation of the transition sequence place with the throttle in the run 5 position, operating the rheostat between the 500 generator amps. Adjust the rheostat E7 rheostat resistor 17B with the slider, increase the MG with the 7 with the forward transition relay, pick the indicator with the test lamp with the voltage current values. The forward transition relay pickup should fall within the lines identified the forward transition PU the parallel on the charts graph of the drawing with the make of the necessary adjusting with the side with the rheostat 17B with the reducing the MG with the set voltage 0 throttle with the idle position, making any adjustments. Alright, reapplying the generator to current with the MG setup with the valve with the check adjustment with the MG set with the valve with the 0. Operate the test restart, reduce the generator current to 24,000 amps. Increase the MG set voltage with the forward transition relay, pick up the forward transition relay, pick up the valve with the limits indicated with the charts with the graph of the drawing, return the throttle and that'll reduce the MG setting of the voltage. Backward transition relay, avoid dropout, allow the transfer test with the setup with the remain with the forward transition relay, check for the proceed the following. Disconnect the electrician, jump to the cable to D1, D2 with the parallel relay, but will allow the TCM6 with the wire to remain disconnected with the Y series shunt with the 1. The disconnect with the test limited with the lead with the TCM6 wire with the connected to the A1 terminal sequence of the series shunt 5 with the lamp will go on with the backward transition relay. Pick up will go on the backward transition dropouts. Backward transition dropout series parallel shunt. The disconnect with the GBA with the wire with the F2 terminal with the FSA with the relay with this if the simulate the FSA. Pick up during the memo order field shunting. The advance with the throttle with the run 5 with the position operated the test with the rheostat with obtain the 24,000 amp with the meter connected with the generator short circuit with the remains of the MG setting voltage of the 1050 volts and test the lamp with the come as the voltage increase the operator with the test of the rheostat above obtain 3,000 amperes. Just the rheostat 16C with the slide with the MG set value with the lamp that goes out indicate the backward transition relay with the drop out with the value with the back transition relay drop with the limits with the indicate with the charts. And graphs drawing the line identified with the back transition relay, the DO series parallel field shown with making necessary adjustments with the slide with the attached with the GBT wire with the RE16C with the reduce the MC jump with the voltage set of voltage, the throttle with the idle making and with the adjustment, repeated steps 25 through 26 to check with the adjustment. Operate the test rheostat with the obtain the generator 24,000 amp. The rate of the MG set with the value on the test lamp goes on. Reduce the MG set with the value until the lamp goes out. Indicate the backward transition relay dropout with the value of the backward transition relay dropout shall follow with the limit indicating the chart that in the graph that you're drawing. Drop out the values. Drop the value of the tolerance with recheck the drop of the lower current. The backward transition relay dropout the value cannot be brought within the tolerance of both high and low current. Relay is defective should be replaced from the qualified relay. Return the throttle and idle and reduce the MG set valve with the drop backward transition relay dropout parallel field shunt with the connect the electrician jump to the wire with the E1 to E2 parallel relay with this simulate the parallel relay pick up during the operation mode is connected with the parallel. Allow the GBA wire to remain with the disconnect with the F2 with the FSA with the advance the throttle with the run position 6 with the operator the 100 ohm 100 watt test rheostat with the 36 amp with the meter connected with the generator short circuit shown with the MG set value with until the test lamp comes on. Adjust the RE16, 17 lower B with on lower slide with the MG set with the value with the lower goes indicate with the BTR drop out with the value with the BTR drop out should fall. To the limits indicate with the charts of the graph drawing by the lines identify the backward transition dropout parallel field shunt the necessary for the adjustment of lower speed with the GBA wire with the RE resistor 16B with the reduce 16B with the reduce the MG set voltage to the 0 the throttle idle with before making the adjustment. Repeat the step 32 through 33. Check an adjustment. Operator the test rheostat to obtain generator current with the 2800 amperes raise the MG with the set value until the test lamp goes out. Comes on. Reduce the MG set with the voltage for the lamp goes out with the indicator of the back transition relay. Drop out of the value of the back transition relay. Should be fall within the limits indicated by the sharp of the angle to grab the drawing. Return the throttle and I'll retrieve the MG set valve with the zero with the turn the test rheostat center with the tab of the negative terminal backward transition relay throughout parallel full field. Reconnect the GBA wire to the field with the FZ terminal with the FSA. Determine the circuit of the parallel full field. The condition with the check lab with the connection that remain connect. The E1 E2 connect with the parallel relay. Advance the throttle run 6 position operated with 100 ohms with 100 watts F the rheostat with the 400 amperes on with the meter connect with the generator short circuit shunt. Raise the MG set value until the test lamp comes on. Adjust the RE16B with the upper slide with reduce the MG set value until the lamp that goes with the indicator of the BTR drop with the value of the BTR drop should fall within the limits indicated with the charge and graph drawing by the line with the indicator backward transition relay. Drop out parallel field FF. A necessary adjustment for the upper slab with the GBB6 wire with the rheostat 16 with the MG set voltage with the 0 with the throttle idle, making the adjustment, repeating sub 38 through 99. Alright, operating with the test rheostat, operating with the generator with the 3200 amp, the rate of the MG set value with the test lamp comes on. With the reduce the MG set voltage until the lamp goes out, and then indicate with the backward transition relay, drop out with the voltage of the backward transition relay. Drop out should fall within the limits indicated with the charts of the graph and drawing. Return the throttle when the idle with the reduce the MG set value voltage for the 0 with the turn the test the rheostat center tap with the negative terminal. Return the signal with the normal operation condition, performing the following: the disconnect with the 100 watt tap the rheostat, reconnect the EW wire to the normal one. Number 1 common in terminal with the thermal throttle response panel with the TRP with the A. Relay A. Disconnect the test lamp. Disconnect the electric jump with the E1 and E2 with the parallel relay. Disconnect the TCM6 wire with the YS with the series shield with the 1. Disconnect the MG1 set with the voltmeter. Stop the diesel engine. Disconnect with the 4000 amp with the show of the meter. Note the transition sequence of the check with the using the MG. Disregard with the E until the sequence is checked. Transition sequence check out with the MG set. With the check of the transition sequence after the make of the transition relay, perform the following: stop the diesel engine, remove the regenerator shunt panel with the bus for the bracketation of the bus for the contact 4000 amp with the 500. 50 millivolt with the meter with the shunt, with the circular with the main with the generator with the shunt with the connect with the millivolt meter for the cable indicating the 400,000 amperes. Insert the telephone plug rod sequence of testing jack with the located with the switch fuse panel with the main connect with the main generator. The output of the lead is 0 to 1200 volt DC volt with the test jack with the do not connect with the MG and input with the leads and the time. Start the diesel engine with the SD45 locomotive and they cramped and start with the generator short circuit with the locomotive control switch for the operation under the power, but allow the generator switch for the remaining off the down position. You know the MG set with the inlet with the battery suite with the left hand side with the switch of the positive apply with 1000 volt with the MG with the 10 minutes preheat with the transition circuit resistor before warning that disconnect with the panel relay with the disconnect with the TCD6 wire with the R terminal with the FS3A for the warm up, reducing the voltage 0 to reconnect the TCD6 wire with the disconnect with the TFF46 wire with the P coil terminal with the FDRA. Connect the test lamp with the cross of the G to FS3A on conventional negative. The lamp will come on with a forward transition relay pickup with the connect with the second line test lamp with the cross of the terminal A1 the relay of the series shield series 5 the current with the negative of the lamp that comes on the backward transition relay pickup. Shift for the second lamp with the negative with the this time indicate with the invert and back transition relay drop out with the procedure play for the generator field switch in the up position play for the throttle the run 3 position with the generator. The current will increase the 2100 amp series parallel full field shunt with the increase of the MG with the set of the voltage until both sets of the lamps to come on to reduce the MG with the voltage just until the test lamp with the connect with the FS3A goes out of the lamp with the connect with the SS5. The remaining with the figure 11.1 with the verify the relay with the contactor pick up with the field step with the series parallel shunter. Alright, if the MG set valve is allowed to drop out of the low end lamp with the connect with the SS5 that goes out at any time during the transition sequence, it will be necessary to check over the bearing back and being ordered to accurately verify transition sequence. 11. Series parallel shunt 1 to the parallel shunt 2 with the increase for the reduce the MG set with the voltage obtained with the second step of the shunt in order the forward transition pick up and interrupt the V with the SS field shunt 1A with the field shunt 1B. Then contact again, they will drop out with a slightly delay 1-3 and the second and forward transition pickup. Series parallel shunt 2 and 3 with increase to reduce the MG set with the voltage of the third step of the shunt. 13 series parallel shunt 13 and 3 and 4 with increase the reduce the MG set voltage to obtain the fourth step of the shunt, and series parallel shunt 4 to 5 increase the reduced MG voltage so that obtain the fifth step of the shunt. 15 series shunt with series parallel shunt to parallel full field. Increase the MG set voltage until the test lamp with the FS3A comes on the following the curve of the pennyroll relay. Picks up the shunting contactor sequence relay, drops out the generator current delay decay to the low value about 25 amperes when the generator current is able to reduce the MG set voltage until the test lamp goes on the FS3A goes out with the values should be within limits indicated with the time lines identified with the forward transition relay set. Series parallel field circuit field shunt to the parallel field FF DO chart. The drawing of the merely of the checking the no adjustment is made. Dropout. For transition dropout cover the FSA with the dropout with the turning of the cover the 74S14 dropout with the power contactor dropout with the pickup with the full parallel motor connection with the transition complete with the generator current with increase for the former value. Parallel 4 FF to parallel shunt 1. Increase the MG set value with the test lamp with the connect with the SS3A with it comes on again with the reduce the voltage until the test lamp goes out with the test lamp with the SS5 remains. Or parallel shunt 1 and 2 through the shunt 5 with again alternately increase the decrease of the MG voltage to obtain the fifth step of the after the shunt with the after the fifth step throw the forward transition pick up the wheel bring up the about no action. One late model with the SD45 on the late model with the SD45 with equipped with the 6 axle simultaneously high speed wheel slip detection wheel slippery relay will pick up the forward transition pickups after the last step of the shunt backward transition protection of TFF6 for the wire with the P coil with the terminal FTRA above the step of the necessary become with the time of the backward transition pickup of the shunting with the contactor drop of the significantly prop the sequence cannot be accomplished connecting the control the backward transition relay within the main generator set. Parallel shunt 5 and the forward reduce the MG set with the set of voltage until the lamp connect with the parallel relay goes out with an immediate with the increase with the main generator set with the voltage with 100 watts with the prevent with the one transition set with the increase with the voltage with the set for the forward transition peak up. 20 parallel shunt 5 and the shunt 1 with the full field. Alternate increase of the decrease for the main generator set value the set down with the first step of the shunt in the full field. Parallel front full field the series parallel the shunt field. Reduce the main generator set voltage until the test lamp with the connect with the parallel relay goes out. Then immediately increase the voltage to 300 volts following the will occur with the parallel relay and the ground generator field drop out with the generator current drops. Power contactor drops out and pick up the series parallel connection with the D field the shunt contactor with the field series. Field Series 1 and Field Series 3 pickup. Reduce the immediately increase the voltage, alternately step down with the full field condition, return the throttle that'll reduce the main generator set valve, return the circuit with the normal operation condition, perform the following, disconnect the main generator set voltmeter, turn the diesel engine with a disconnect with 4,000 amp of the shunt meter, disconnect with 2 test lamps to make the shunt with the TFF6 wire, it's connected with the coil with the FTRA to the CCD6 wire, firmly connected with the terminal of the parallel terminal. Service data, transition controlling system testing, stuff number reference. The SD45 charts with good no locomotives equipped with the special equipment to record the pain required with the specific charts and the graph, the numbers of which they will be referenced in the lower right corner of the locomotive wire diagram. Locomotive wiring lining list, which include the electrical part in the reference lower right kind, lower right warning wiring drawing. Section 9 locomotive panel provides the information for the transition sequence circuit, the maintenance instruction, the TVE, type VE9T relay, E1 type relays, routine maintenance parts, and the equipment of 4,000 amp of the 50 volt millimeter shunt with the volt milliamp of the 2 each required meter motor generator set 64 volt input 1200 volt output manually operated 100 ohm 100 watt tampered wire wound to load regulated rheostat test valve 64 volt AC DC 8-foot lead alligator clips. Relay forward, transition backway, transition contact arrangement, 2 NO, 2 NC, rating of 5 amperes, coil resistance J through K, 255 amps, plus or minus 10% at 26 degrees Celsius, the LM, the 205 amps, plus or minus 10 amps at 20 Cs, NMP, 47 ohms, plus or minus 10% at 20 Cs, equivalent bus term, the 11,350, LM, 7,500, and in P3100 continuous ampere rating at the coil 3/10 relay pickup of the JK oil the 66 plus or minus 6 millimeter amperes LM coil only 100 plus or minus 10 milliamperes the NP coil only 240 plus or minus 20 milliamperes the bus current the 750 plus or minus 30 amperes in the direction shown. Relay dropout. JK and coil only 45 minus 6 8 milliamperes. LMM coil only 9 and 10 milliamperes. NMP coil only 168 plus or minus 20 milliamperes. Bus and current oil only 525 plus or minus 30 amp. The direction shown. Polarity magnets are blown out. Bus current with an A, B, C, D, E, F, G, JK, L, M, N, P. Alright, supplemental batteries. Dropout delay with the, for the contactor relay, shunting of the contactor of the FSA1, the B with the FSA2 with the B with the FS3A, B with the drop, normal dropout delay with the normal operation temperature 1/3 of a second. The field shunting the contactor FSC. Normal dropout with the normal operation of the temperature for the rheostat 20 and the SC continuous relay with the 10 connected with the operating coil 2 to 34 seconds, 2 to 3.4 seconds. Forward transition relay auxiliary. That was FTR. Normal nominal dropout type of the normal operation temperature of the rheostat 22 and the CA 22 connected with the around the operating coil 0 to 7 to 1.4 seconds. Normal dropout time normal operation. Temperature of the rheostat 23C 23 with the rheostat 22 CA 22 connected around the operating coil 572 seconds. Backward transition relay BTR normal dropout time the normal operating temperature of the rheostat 21 CA 21 connected to the operating of the coil with a negative pole. Negative positive coil will energize 600ths of a second. Parallel relay normal dropout delay normal operation temperature rheostat 21 CA 21 connected under the capacitor 21 connected around the operating coil 0 to 8 to 1.2 seconds. Alright, that was your transition control testing settings of section 11 in the Locomotive Service Manual Electric Motor Division.